Howdy peeps, and welcome to another video of Star Wars weapons and technology presented by me, Tenopia. In this one, we're going to be doing Anakin Skywalker's Cyborg arm. Now, after Anakin was saved by Jedi Master Yoda, Anakin was quickly fitted with a cybernetic prosthetic arm, and many in the Jedi Order shook their heads and respectively mourned Anakin's injury, seeing it as a partial loss of humanity. But in fact, the person least affected by the whole affair, emotionally at least, was Anakin himself. Now, his first prosthetic was, like almost all replacement limbs, specially built for him. The young Jedi was quite content that the limb was not covered by synthetic flesh, and the droid-like appearance of its skeletal frame, complete with exposed wiring, did not bother him in the slightest. After all, we are talking about someone who, throughout his life, was most comfortable and most at peace when tinkering with technology, especially droids. Now, when Anakin married Padme in a secret ceremony in Naboo, his new arm was as yet unmodified and carried no armor plating. The gold fingertips used electrostatic technology to create signals that were transmitted through a synthetic neural interface linked to Anakin's own nervous system at the stump of his flesh and blood arm. The servos in the arm meant it was significantly stronger than a human arm, meaning Anakin had to be conscious of not accidentally crushing things in his grip. And as with pretty much every piece of technology left in his care for any length of time, it actually wasn't too long before Anakin began to modify his mechano arm. Some of the modifications to his starfighter and even to his lightsaber had been gently criticized by Obi-Wan Kenobi as being purely cosmetic. Now, this didn't stop Anakin making the armor plates fitted to his arm, which were shielded to prevent outside electric interference from disrupting the function of his prosthetic from looking as impressive as possible. Although he wore a protective glove over it as a matter of course, one of Skywalker's first changes was the addition of this armor. As well as additional strengthening golden supports to the forearm, Anakin added curvy matte black plates. And to the back of the hand and the fingers, he added additional plating that allowed the hand to absorb and dish out significant punishment before taking any actual damage. Anakin even modified the glove he wore, adding an auto seal function at the cuff that ensured no liquids or even airborne corrosives could easily reach his mechano arm components. Now, the realities of conflict meant that Anakin didn't just carry spare parts for a cybernetic arm. He ensured that as often as possible he had access to a full replacement. Now, this enabled him to make sure that he was never going to be out of action for any length of time. And it was particularly useful when, especially during the campaign of Navan, Anakin's arm was utterly destroyed by the explosive energy he released when he shattered a critical energy crystal in a siphon generator. And despite the arm being artificial, losing it in this way was by no means a painless experience, as the feedback through its neural interface was excruciating. But he had a replacement which R2 quickly reattached to Anakin. Then Anakin nearly lost his arm after his fall into darkness and his transformation to Darth Vader during the climax of his epic duel with Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar, which actually is one of my favorite fights in cinema history. They were just so evenly anyway. And Vader lost both legs and his remaining biological arm to Kenobi's blade and was left to die on a black sand bank. Now, Sidious came along and saved him, however, and set his medical droids to work on the wounded Sith apprentice. But now known as Darth Vader, he was given an upgraded prosthetic arm which was heavier but even more powerful than the last. And a month later, the arm was severed by Jedi Master Sui Choi when Vader confronted several Jedi in the Conclave on Kessel. And then it was replaced with another artificial arm, and this arm was then severed by Starkiller's clone, who used his former master's blade on him during the Battle of Kamino in 1 BBY. And sometime after his escape from Dantooine, he got it replaced again during the battle with his son Luke Skywalker at the Temple of Pomajima on Sokaz 4, also known as Mimban. Vader lost his mechanical arm again, but it was replaced years later after his many failures at defeating the Rebel Alliance. And this arm would be destroyed by Darth Sidious as punishment. It was soon replaced, and this arm would have its hand severed at the wrist once again by Luke. And that's the history of Anakin Skywalker's cyborg arm and everything that happened to it up until you last see it in episode 6. So if you like the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date. Both liking and subscribing helps support the channel a great deal. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Catch you later.